Hey everyone, welcome back to my Let's Play of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. When we last left off, we continued on with the court case for, keep forgetting the guy's name, Natsume, and I think we continued on with trying to prove that he could have taken the other street. We convinced the jurors to all not, well, at least the majority, to say not guilty for now, and then we're dealing with these two witnesses, one of whom is asleep all the time, and the other is kind of crazy. So I don't know if, like, I'm guessing they're trustworthy. I mean, they don't sound like they're lying, but someone's gotta be lying, I would assume. I don't think Natsume did it, but I don't know. I didn't think Magilda did it either, but by the end I was pretty sure he did, actually, so who knows at this point. But I want to say thank you guys for continuing to support the series. Sorry I've taken a couple days off from this. I meant to upload it on Saturday or Friday, but I was just slacking, you know. But here we are today, and we're gonna hopefully have a better upload schedule this week. So yeah, I think last time I was struggling a little bit to figure out what I was gonna press them on, and it just hit me right now that she says I could tell you the name of the 4 books, and I'm pretty sure it's only 3, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. I don't know which I should fight her with. I guess the picture, right?
Objection.
Yeah, there it is. So, you're saying that there were 4 books? That's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur somebody, what's it yearnings, a meal for someone, and the thingamy is something. I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. Ha! That's wrong! Sorry, what you go? There's a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. Oh no! Wait, what flaw? Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4! He's so dramatic over something so simple. What? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see, there are only 3 books. But no, that can't be. I saw them. Oh, I know what it is. Yes, you can't fool me. Sorry? It's that big old lump of a dead body. Oh my god! The lady's so large, her corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book, that's all. Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman isn't dead, even if we're insulting her size. No, I'm sorry, Mrs. B. But Mr. Natsume could not possibly have dropped the 4 books you describe. Why not? Fascinating. And from your assured tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume. Yeah, it's called a receipt, bitch. Ah, evidence. Counsel, you will present evidence to substantiate your claim or withdraw it. Come on, Santa. What proof do you have that the accused did not drop 4 books? Receipt.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in the form of this bookshop receipt. From your books? I hate the name of that store. Yes, this receipt details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed. No! Therefore, Mr. Natsume would have only dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation, madam, cannot be relied upon. Ugh! So, it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken. Oh no! Oh no, no, no! No! Girl, it was foggy. Calm down. I don't...
Objection!
Oh, here we go. Oh. It's plainly evident. That is, your powers of deduction cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? Oh, yeah. What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. Ah! So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. but your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. Chucks the glass. Oh, he's not going to. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony, in every respect. Oh! You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection!
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books. I mean, there could have been one on the other side of the body, you know? Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print. That print? You mean to say... There it goes. Allow me to present another. One that shows the victim's hand. I don't believe it. How is a woman who got stabbed in the back holding a book? It's the 4th book. As you will observe. The 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. No. No! Okay, but hold on. Where's my... Hold on. Order! Yeah, hold on for a second. Let me go. Can I look at it? Oh, we don't have it yet. There, you see? Look at that. Look. Yes, alright. It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please. Oh yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other. The picture of Monsieur Lecoq. I don't know how to say anything in French. What's it, yearnings? Don't kill your husband, please. Canterbury yearnings. A meal for someone. A meal for Gabirot. In fact, Gabirao? As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Yeah, the names, you know. Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection could only be described as exceptional. Did you hear that, Raleigh? The gentleman paid me a compliment. Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless. But, there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Beat mentioned 4. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? Maybe it's hers, I don't know. It's not odd at all, my lord. But why does it look burnt? You know, that looks like it has to do with, Oh, yo, wait! A lion! It's from the guy's freaking apartment. It got burnt. You know, I'm starting to wonder if the wife, like, threw a knife at her husband and it went out the window. I don't think I can stab that lady. That doesn't seem very sensical, but... A book? Maybe she threw a book? Out the window at her husband? That could have, I mean, it could have caused this lady to fall over. I don't know where the knife comes in. I don't know. It definitely looks like it got on fire, and it has a lion. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding her own book? I wonder, what became of that 4th book? Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence. Oh, let me investigate that boy over here. You will submit that in the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel. My pleasure, my lord. Second crime scene photograph. Second photograph of the scene taken by a policeman just after the incident. It specifically shows the victim's hand. Okay. The lion's pride discovered in the victim's hand at the scene. If we open it, I bet you it's gonna have freaking whatever the heck the landlord's name is in it. Let's go look. I got to know. Well, let's look at the photograph first. Okay. Yeah, see, it's charred, I think. I mean, that kind of looks like a girl's eyelash. It might be the lady. I don't know. Okay, so the lion's pride burned to all shit. All right, open sesame. Hello. I saw it turn. Oh, can I just look at this? Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burned. You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages. What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently. Huh. A book recently damaged by fire. Why does this seem to raise a red flag with me? Ah, yes, there it is. The back cover is badly burnt. Can I open it? Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride. I'm afraid I don't know any English literature. Oh my god. I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. So it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before. And very recently, too. It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo. Can I... Maybe they wouldn't have written their name on the inside. That might be a little too much. Alright, there it is. The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I? You see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling? Huh? Yeah, yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat. So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions? Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? No, it's not. You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do you do now? Well, I imagine I have to raise an objection. If I just wait, I think everything's gonna end, isn't it?
Objection!
Objection! I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. That the last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say. Come on, Susato.
If I may, Lord Van Zeeks. It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Huh. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Oh. Douchebag?
Don't talk to Susato like that!
I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer.
So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable, bitch.
Mr. Naruhodo!
I ship it. One of this lad's great guiding principles is tolerance. So, the court will hear you, madam. Go ahead, Miss Susato. Please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further? You got it, Susato, don't worry.
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
It does.
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
Yes, I understand, and thank you, Miss Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. Bam! It's burned, bitch! The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Yeah, Vinceeks! Shake in your boots!
Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked.
That's a really long sentence. This one.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Ah!
Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once.
I mean, unless you know of snow that burns a book, there's something strange going on.
Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Santa. Oh, yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo, get your shit together. I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track.
Yes, I think you might be right.
So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case which this fourth book conceals?
It's right. Oh, hello. Oh, wrong button. It's right there.
Got it!
Got it! I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
The back? What are you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp!
So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing. Yeah! Bam!
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh! Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide? Ah, yes. A charred book. There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours.
Bro, just give me a second.
What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered?
The shop that sold it, its owner, its content, its owner. My lord, the bird on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner.
I beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor after all. It's obviously hers. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers.
Good gracious! How could you possibly?
Very well. I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. Yeah, calm down.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book?
Do I have him? Oh yeah, there he goes, Gyaradev, that's his name. And his wife can answer, because she's sworn to tell the truth.
Take that!
Take that! The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Gyaradev. The landlords. And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but... Of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Gyaradev herself. Oh, we're just gonna out their secret? Oh god. Oh my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Gyaradev's wife. I'm his maid. Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Gyaradev's house? I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Bro, I already had this whole moment with her and her husband proving she was the wife. You don't even know. Your actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
Shut up! This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Gyardev's house.
Good lord! What sort of incident, counsel?
Fire! A fire, my lord. Those crazy people. Afraid to say it was happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. The worst of it is I lost my favorite, a book called The Lion's Pride. Oh, right, duh. Forgot about that. Oh, god, that face. The Lion's Pride. Ugh.
By Jove! The very same title that's the subject of this debate!
Oh, dear me.
Objection!
Yeah, what? This is reasonable. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. She probably freaking chucked a book at his face. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Gyaradev was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Gyaradev even amid the flames. Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Raleigh? Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir. Yeah, she'll just choke you to death with her scarf. Casual. I had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. There was I back up against the window under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books and coming down to the dozen. Yeah, including The Lion's Pride.
The man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him? Goodness gracious! Are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident. And there is no report of the Gyardev's window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garrett household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time and not even remotely? Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Ah!
Huh. Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garrett's wife?
I believe it's a possibility, my lord. That's quite enough. Who'd that be? Oh, shit. Well, I hope that everyone can see what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward. Really? Claiming that our little tip set the whole neighborhood alight. Honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name.
No, I assure you that was never my intention.
Dragging an upsetting citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable. Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now listening to this Nipponese spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with a mustache, and he ran away from the scene too. I do declare you're right.
It's true.
Yes, what did I tell you? Makes sense to me.
Huh? Sorry. What's that? Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zeeks?
Ah, come on, I didn't mess up, did I? In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then, one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. I don't know what you're saying.
No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been...
Oh my god! If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. Lick my boot. Bro, where are your manners? What? No, forgive the discourtesy this time?
Counsel, lower your foot. Ahem. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty.
Ah.
Guilty.
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 I hate you.
Guilty.
I really hate you.
Guilty. Guilty.
Just to take a sip of my pop while they're all being idiots. Oh, that voice hurts my throat. Really? I don't think I screwed up. I mean, that's the only avenue we had to go forward.
Thank you for that unambiguous response.
That's twice now. It's over. Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up.
What? Miss Susato?
Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
You're not suggesting.
Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
Ah, my lord. The defense has to exercise its right to a summation examination. Huh. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Let's go, bitch. Oh, to be continued. Oh, Zooey Mama. Yeah, so I'm trying to think. There's a couple ways this could... I mean, she doesn't have oh my god. Evidence of fire damage on her. So it's not like the book came out of nowhere and hit her in the head and knocked her out, right? Because she's holding it in her hand also. So I don't think it made contact with her. It may have flown out, landed on the sidewalk. She bent down to pick it up because she was, like, interested. And then I don't know where the knife comes into it. Unless Natsume stabbed her, but I don't know why he would do that. Maybe, I was gonna say, did she fall on the knife? But it'd have to be sticking straight up out of the ground, which doesn't really make sense either, so I don't know.
I've considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure.
Yeah, bro.
So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman?
We are, my lord.
Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you to now state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime.
Yeah, tell me how you can blatantly ignore the evidence, please. Judicial findings. The juror's contentions. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window is closed, can it?
Dear me, it was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening even with a direct hit. Okay, what is that supposed to mean? Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Useless as always.
Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago.
Gave me the sneezes. Okay, so maybe it did hit her, but not the part that was on fire?
Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems.
Yeah, I don't know about those last 2, though.
With one notable exception, of course.
Santa Claus, my learned student friend was unable to find fault in their previous witness testimony. Yeah? So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, how many glasses have you wasted? No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime.
Well, the eyewitnesses are correct. It would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone.
I have a pickaxe, it ain't set in stone.
I fail to see how it can be argued any other way.
That means, I'm afraid, that during the summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was, thinking this might be hard.
But, Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends.
No pressure then.
That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please.
I mean, unless she chucked a knife out the window, but I don't think it would have enough force to stab someone in the back. Especially through a coat. Like, you need to be a lot closer.
I presume you are prepared, counsel.
Oh, yes, my lord. Alright, Ryunosuke, focus your mind now. Pimp slap yourself. Clearly, the key to the summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say Mrs. Garrideb?
We have a book that disappeared from the Garrideb's house on the evening of the incident. And the 4th book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the 2. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garrideb and how she reacts, even to the things other people say.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that mechanic. Let's go, jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. You know what? I'm gonna call this an episode here. This seems like a good place to stop. But, yeah, I mean, I think I say this every time, but I'm intrigued to see what the heck actually happened. They better not go down the route of her throwing a knife out the window and it hitting the lady, because that's BS. That would not work in any route. I mean, there's a certain level of suspension of disbelief with these games sometimes, but that's bullshit. So that's not gonna fly with me. I'm guessing the book hit her, and she grabbed it after it bounced off of her head or something. And then there's the knife. I don't know. So whatever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I ramble so much. As always, feel free to leave a like, comment, favorite, or subscribe, whatever you guys are feeling. And until the next time, lights off, dark out.